Okay, assalamu alaikum everyone. Hope you are doing great. So, in today's class, I'll explain you how to answer these 4-mark questions, and this is basically the list of questions, important questions that may be tested in IGCSE and OLevel in June 2024 exam series. Again, keep in mind, never expect that these questions will come as it is in the exam. However, these type of questions may be tested. These questions will streamline your preparation, inshallah ta'ala. So I have explained you 2 markers questions in the first video. If you haven't seen that, then you can go back to the previous video and see the answers of these 2 mark questions that now you can see on the screen. So I have explained all of these 69 questions in that video, and today I'll be explaining you these 4 mark questions, and in the next video definitely I'll explain you 6 markers and then 8 markers, right? So let's begin the video. Question number 1 is explain the significance of a significance of a production point inside a PPC and a production point on its PPC. Okay, so for this question you have to explain that the point inside the PPC production possibility curve. Production possibility curve is basically the diagram that shows different combinations of 2 products that can be produced with the given resources, right? And production possibility curve looks like this. You need not to make the graph in this case, but I'm just showing you. Point A is inside the curve and point B is along the PPC curve, right? So you will have to say that point inside the PPC shows unemployment of resources. So it is a significant point because it gives signal to the producers that resources are not fully utilized, rather they are unemployed. And point B, that is point along the PPC or point on the PPC, shows that resources are fully employed. So it means now to produce greater quantity of X good, producers will have to reduce some quantity of Y good. Let's say for example, if you are at point B, at A, producer can produce a greater quantity of both goods by employing unemployed resources, but at point B the opportunity cost is involved. Now if producer wants to produce more of X good, then he will have to sacrifice some units of Y good. Just you can see it. For example, if we are initially at point B where production of Y good is Y1 and production of X good is X1, let's say. So if we move from point B to C, then production of X will increase, but at the same time you can see production of Y will decrease. So it shows opportunity cost. When there is point inside the curve, it means there is no opportunity cost by increasing the output of one good. Now moving to question number 2, explain with examples the difference between merit goods and public goods. Merit goods are the goods that are beneficial to the consumers as well as the third party, and examples may include education, healthcare and vaccination as well as plantation. For example, because it is asking about explanation with examples, so you will have to give example as well. For example, if someone plants a tree, then it will create oxygen that will benefit the entire society. And public goods are the goods that are non-excludable and non-rival, mean everyone is allowed to use them, and if it is used by one person, then benefits of all others who are already using them will not decrease. Such as you can talk about street light or lighthouse. Lighthouse is basically the facility for the ships that are in the sea, right? So lighthouse guides all the ships that are coming its way, right, irrespective of the company and irrespective of the origin of the ship, right? So same way, street lights are also taken as public goods, right? So anyone passing by can benefit from the street light. Okay, so now moving to the next question, explain 2 causes of increase in size of country's labor force. Size of country's labor force, you have to explain 2 causes, but I'm going to explain you 3 causes and you can pick any two of them. Number 1 is like school leaving age, and number 2 is retirement age, and number 3 is net migration. Right, net migration basically shows the people coming into the country and difference between people coming into the country and people leaving the country. School leaving age is the graduation period where like generally students get free from their qualification and education, and they enter the labor market to get jobs. So if school leaving age is reduced, then labor force will increase, because now people will be added into the list of workforce. Retirement age is another factor. If retirement age increases, labor force will again increase. Retirement age is generally 60 years. If government increases it to 65 years, it means the existing workers will be able to work 5 more years rather. So as a result, overall labor force will increase. Net migration is people coming into the country. If net migration is positive, it means more people are coming into the country. If it is negative, then it means more people are leaving the country. So positive net migration again increases the size of labor force. So our focus was increase in size of labor force. So we will look into the only one thing, that is what will cause increase in labor force. Question number 5 is explain how a subsidy can correct market failure. Market failure is basically caused by underproduction of merit goods generally, or overproduction of demerit goods. But once examiner is asking about subsidy, it means he is focusing on merit goods. Market failure caused by merit goods. Merit goods are the goods that are beneficial to everyone, such as plantation, education, and vaccination. So provision of subsidy by the government. Subsidy is the financial help or grant or support provided by the government to the private producer so that they produce more quantity of merit goods. So increase in subsidy will increase the supply of merit goods. So as a result, underproduction and underconsumption of merit goods will be removed. So this is demand and supply curve. On X we have quantity. So if you are not comfortable making this graph, then don't worry about that. You can just discuss it, and I'm making the graph to make it more effective. So initial equilibrium, quantity, and price are given here. The provision of subsidy will increase the supply of merit goods. So supply curve will move to S1 and new equilibrium is E1, where quantity will increase to Q1 and price will fall to P1. So market failure will be corrected because production of merit goods will increase and price of merit goods will decrease. So more people will be willing and able to use these merit goods. So market failure is corrected. Market failure is caused when there is underproduction or overproduction, or underconsumption and overconsumption. So in this case, there will be underconsumption and underproduction of merit goods. So question number 6 is explain 2 consequences to firms of unemployment. Okay, so if unemployment occurs, then like what will be the 2 consequences, like 2 impacts? One impact that you can talk about is greater unemployment will decrease economic growth of the country or decrease GDP of the country, because lesser production will take place in the country. And the second impact can be like it may increase crime rate in the country. Crime rate may rise because when people are unemployed, then definitely to earn something they may be like involved in criminal activities, so crime may increase. Question number 7 is explain 2 challenges facing small firms. Small firms, what kind of 2 challenges are faced by small firms? Small firms are the firms that have invested smaller amount of money and employ lesser number of workers. The 2 main challenges that small firms face may include lack of capital. Capital mean like investments, funds that may not basically help the business grow, and business cannot expand its number of branches or expand its production scale of production. So the first challenge is lack of amount of money invested in the business, and the second thing is lack of technical know-how or technology or machinery and tools, because small businesses generally don't afford to buy better technology. And the question number 8 is explain two consequences of deflation. Deflation is when general price level decreases. Inflation is when general price level increases, and deflation is when general price level decreases. So what will happen if general price level decreases? First of all, it will increase purchasing power of the consumers. When there is deflation, it means people can purchase more quantity of goods and services with the existing amount of money. So when purchasing power of the consumers increases, they will be able to buy more goods and services, and their standard of living may also increase, right? So since they can buy more goods and services, standard of living will increase. And the other reason can be consequence can be like increase in exports. If goods of your country are cheaper because of deflation, then the people from other countries will be comfortable purchasing from you, so as a result exports may increase. Moving to question number 9, explain two reasons why the value of country's exports may be greater than the value of its imports. The two reasons for which value of exports can be greater because of the better quality of exports. For example, if Pakistan produces better quality textile products, then definitely the value of exports may increase eventually. And similarly, the greater value of like exchange rate of currency will also make value of exports greater than the value of imports. And moving to question number 10, explain two ways a government could decrease the consumption of demerit goods. Right, the focus is basically decrease consumption of demerit goods. And demerit goods are the products that are harmful to the consumers as well as the third parties, such as cigarettes, alcohol, and unprescribed drugs. So if government wants to decrease the consumption of demerit goods, then the two ways government can use maybe like imposing high indirect tax on these goods. Like if government imposes indirect tax such as general sales tax, value added tax on demerit goods, then these goods will be expensive, and as a result people will purchase less. And the second method that government can use is like creating awareness about the harmful effects of demerit goods. If government advertises in newspapers, on television, on social media, or any other network that creates awareness among the people about harmfulness of these goods, then again consumption of demerit goods may fall. Question 11 says explain the differences between absolute poverty and relative poverty. Absolute poverty is when the people don't have sufficient amount of money to satisfy their basic needs of food, shelter, and clothing. And relative poverty, and when people have sufficient amount of money to satisfy their basic needs and some of wants as well, but their income is like maybe like below the certain median threshold, or you can say that people may not be able to satisfy all of their wants, and or they may think that they are less privileged as compared to the other people living around them. So absolute poverty is when you have lesser financial resources to buy basic needs of food, shelter, clothing, and clean drinking water, as well as basic medicine. And relative poverty is when you can satisfy your basic needs, but you think that you are less privileged as compared to the people living around you. Question number 12 is explain how an increase in a worker's income can affect their mobility of labor. Right, so if income of workers increases, then what will happen to the mobility of labor? Mobility can be like of two types. One is occupational mobility and the other one is geographical mobility. Right, if workers income increases, then it means he has greater purchasing power and he would be more mobile like geographically, and he affords to move to some other region of the country or to some other countries as well, so he will be more mobile. And secondly, occupationally he can be mobile because when he has more income, he can get further education and training, and he can change the occupation or profession as well. And question number 13 is explain the differences between absolute and relative poverty. This question is repeated here. Question number 14 is explain two functions a central bank performs for its government. Central bank is the bank of the government that has sole authority to issue currency notes and coins, such as Bank of England is the central bank of the UK, and State Bank of Pakistan is the central bank of Pakistan, and Federal Reserve is the central bank of the USA. So these banks issue currency notes and coins, and they also manage national debt of the country as well. Question number 15 is these banks also regulate all the entire banking system, commercial banks as well. However, for the government, it basically issues currency notes and it settles national debts of the country as well. Explain why demand for soap is more price inelastic than the price of luxury brand of perfume. Okay, so soap is a basic necessity of life to maintain basic hygiene, so its demand is price inelastic because a greater change in price of soap will lead to a lesser change in quantity demand for soap. For example, if soap gets expensive, then most of the people will still keep buying it because they know that it is the part of basic hygiene, and as a result they will continue purchasing more or less the same quantity. And luxury products are the products that have elastic demand, such as perfumes, and these are not basically essential for maintaining basic hygiene. They are something extra or luxury that may be demanded by the people. If people have more income and prices are low, then they will purchase more, and if their prices are high, then they can immediately reduce the greater quantity of consumption of perfumes, or demand for perfumes will decrease dramatically. So demand is elastic in case of perfumes, and it is basic factor that if product is luxury product, then demand will be elastic. If it is basic necessity, then demand will be inelastic. Explain 2 reasons why a country's foreign exchange rate may depreciate. Foreign exchange rate is the price of a currency in terms of another currency, and depreciation means fall in value of currency in terms of another currency. Right, so 2 reasons for fall in value of currency in terms of another currency. The one reason can be fall in interest rate offered by the currency. When interest rate is low, people will stop purchasing such currency, so its value will decrease. And similarly, greater inflation rate in the country may also depreciate the country's currency, because for example, if inflation rate in Pakistan is very high, so purchasing goods in the local market will be really expensive for the people, so they may prefer buying imported goods from other countries, from cheaper countries such as China. So as a result, more imports will lead to further fall in the value of Pakistani currency, so depreciation will again occur. Question number 17 is explain 2 ways a government could increase the consumption of merit goods. I think this is also a repeated question, so just I can give you a little explanation of this as well. Merit goods are the goods that are beneficial to the consumers as well as the overall society and third party. And government can 2 ways government can use to increase the consumption of merit goods include provision of subsidy. If government provides subsidy to the producer so that they produce more merit goods at relatively low prices, and people will purchase greater quantity because now it is affordable. Secondly, government can create awareness about the benefits of merit goods, so as a result, again, more people will be willing to purchase merit goods and use them, so consumption of merit goods will increase. So this is it for this class, and in the next class I'll be explaining you important questions for 6 mark questions. I have already explained 2 marker questions in the first video. If you want to watch that, then go back to the channel and see the playlist of IGCSE and OLevel economics, and find there, or you can see in the latest videos as well. The last thing, if you want to get maximum benefit out of this channel, then use the playlist. Go to the playlist and look into the relevant playlist. There are separate playlists for A level AS microeconomics, separate playlist for A2 macroeconomics, then AS paper 2 and AS paper 1. And similarly for A2 there is separate lists for microeconomics, macroeconomics, paper 4 and paper 3. Same is the case with IGCSE and OLevel. So I believe you will benefit out of this channel, and please subscribe to this channel as well, and keep in touch. So best wishes, see you soon inshallah. Allah Hafiz.